Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, The Reunion, Part 1, you guys. We are finally here. And this reunion starts off pretty much like all the rest of the reunions start, except, well, you know what, it's a little different because of the scandal with Robin and Juan. So they actually start this reunion with the sound clip from the podcast that Giselle and Robin have together from their Reasonably Shady podcast. And that was the particular podcast that Robin revealed that Juan did indeed cheat. And they handled it off screen and told everybody to go to the Patreon in order to get more details. And then they also showed a clip from when she was on Watch What Happens Live, when Andy was grilling her about the situation, okay? So they made sure that they reminded us of Robin's scandal. And then they say 2 weeks earlier, remember I told you guys that she conveniently waited until the reunion had aired to let us know about this. Anyway, 2 weeks earlier, we actually filmed the reunion, okay? And this is where we pick up where it's normally, you know, how it is normal. This time they're in Miami instead of New York. I think they usually do it in New York, but this time they're in Miami. And, you know, as these reunions go, they have to start very early, you know, because it's a long day. And we see everybody getting to the studio or wherever it is that they're filming in order to get their hair and their makeup and their outfit together for this long day of the reunion. And as usual, we see Andy visiting everybody's room to see, you know, are they prepared? What are they expecting? You know, what do they hope to see? What do they hope to resolve? You know, we all know the drill. But then it comes the time to come on the stage. And you guys, I'm gonna have to change my feelings on whose dress I like the most, okay? I think I'm going to have to put Karen at the top of that list. I thought it just fit her perfectly. If Karen doesn't know anything else, she definitely knows what looks good on her body, okay? And she knows how to enhance what needs to be enhanced and all of that. So I thought that Karen looked very, very pretty. Makeup was very, very pretty because I don't know who does Karen's makeup. I think it's the same person, but sometimes they give her like a really hard contour and it just doesn't always pan out well. Something happens right here. Actually, I think I got a picture because I had to take a picture. I was just like, what is happening? First, let me see if it's saved on my, okay, yes it did. So, you guys see what I'm talking about? I honestly think that that's makeup. That's makeup. I had to take this picture the other day because I was looking and I was just like, So she actually looked, her makeup was very beautiful. It looked like it was almost airbrushed on. So Karen, I thought, looked very, very pretty head to toe. I still liked Ashley's dress. I just don't know if I felt like it was the most appropriate for a reunion. But then again, like, I mean, who says what you're supposed to wear to a reunion? But I thought she looked very nice in her dress. I hated her hair. I had to look at her hair and I was just like, girl, they don't never quite get that hair right with Ashley. So it would be Karen, then it would be Ashley. And then I think my next person would probably be Candace, I guess. Not a big fan of, first of all, I'm not really a fan of this season's anybody's dress really, because I don't know, the blue just seems like a very harsh color for them. And I don't know, it wasn't my favorite. But if I had to tell you guys how I ranked everybody, Candace would come in third, even though Candace always wears like super huge dresses that completely just take over her whole little frame. She loves the big ball gowns and the big, you know, fluffy and all of that. The feathers, the nude underneath the feathers. I don't know. It just, I wasn't, But I mean, I guess she would come in third if I was putting everybody, ranking everybody. Fourth would be, I guess, Wendy. Wendy's dress looks like 3 dresses to me put together, you know, and this peacock whatever this thing is that came across. I wasn't a fan of that. If that was gone, then I probably would like the dress more. I like the ombre effect of the blue and the nude and all of that and the beading. All that was pretty to me, but this thing here, wasn't feeling it. Then I guess it would be, Robin would be next. You know, Robin's dress was very understated. I wouldn't say her dress was ugly. It just was, you know, Robin always kind of takes the safer route, unless she just completely does the opposite and be way, way out. Remember she had that leopard hair one season? I was like, that's going to be one of these. And then Mia's dress just looked like R&B prom dress. Well, not really prom dress, but I don't know, just wasn't feeling it. It also ill fit right here in the middle. It looked like either we needed to pull the strings to corset it, you know, like pull it a little tighter, because it felt like her stomach was like kind of busting out in the middle. And of course, Church Lady Giselle's dress is going to be the absolute worst for me. I just don't know why. I feel like it's on purpose. I feel like she does it on purpose because nobody can say that that girl don't show up every season. I actually took a bunch of screenshots of her previous dresses. Let me see, did I keep it? Because I was going to make a post. I did keep it. Okay. So this is not going to be in order, and I think I'm still missing one of the dresses, but let's just look at some of Giselle's older reunion looks, okay? Now this one here, child, it don't look so bad now that we're looking at this royal blue today, but this was a nice look for her, okay? The yellow is beautiful on the skin. You know, Giselle loves her a rhinestone applique, you know, some sort of something. One of the rock stars pointed out on her dress for this night how they had ran out of rhinestones on one of the arms. Like the beads was different on one of the arms and everything. I'll show you guys in a minute. This was her look last season. Okay. The hot pink. Remember we put that picture together with the Clark sisters. But again, I mean, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I guess maybe that one ain't so bad. Okay. This was a travesty. Look at this. Child, that's when they wore white or silver, I think. And the jumpsuit, girl, if you don't cut it out. This was, I think, an earlier season, either season 2, I think this might have been season 2. Okay. Again, I remember we thought these dresses was kind of horrible back then, and now when you look at it, and I think this was one of the looks. This is probably the most just kind of chill dress that she's worn. Actually didn't look bad. That color again is beautiful on the skin. Look at her hair. Okay, Giselle, that was good. And I think this was season 1. Okay. Stop growling, Blue. This is season 1 when they wore like medals, I believe. They wore medals on this reunion. No. Maybe they all just kind of wore. Remember at one time they weren't real uniform. I think this might have been what that was. Okay. Could have did without that hairdo, but you know. And did I go on and get the... And then you guys, here is tonight's dress. And let's look at the rhinestones. And one of the rock stars pointed out. Shout out to you. Look at that left arm and look at that right arm. Okay, we had to go on and change it up a little bit. A little, you know, it's 1 here, 2 over there. It's 2 here, 4 over on that other side. You know, we had to bring it down. Y'all going to hell for being able to notice that kind of thing. But yeah, so that was it. Yeah, I think that's my order. And I guess Robin's dress is not so bad. I guess I could put Robin in front of Mia. Yeah, I think I put Robin in front of Mia. See, now this is Mia's dress that I was talking about. You see how it's kind of like ill-fitting in there? And then the velvet is just so heavy. It wasn't bad. It just looked like R&B, Windsor House, you know, fashions and that kind of thing. Yeah, that right there, that's what I said I couldn't get into, is this thing here, okay? If we would have removed that, I think I would have been a bigger fan, but she needed something blue. I mean, they could have did a blue sash around the middle or something, okay? But, yeah, I think that is it. But Karen, yeah. That Karen looks good, honey. That Karen looks great. You did that, Karen. Top of the list, head to toe, okay? So anyway, yeah, I had to give y'all that. Andy looked like Andy, you know, nothing special there. Now, let's talk about the seating. The seating arrangements was a little different this season, and everybody was like, this is the most random. So the way that the seating went, I'm gonna start from looking at the screen from the right and going all the way around the horseshoe to the left. So on this side, we had Wendy, then we had Ashley, then we had Giselle, then we had Andy, we had Karen, then we had Candace, then we had Robin, and then we had Mia. Yes, that was the order, which actually was very, I was like, you know, like they said, this is the most random way that they put it together. I think that just shows that Giselle and Karen are still like the, you know, they are the Real Housewives of Potomac girls. This is their show, you know, and then everybody else, we just kind of fan them on out. Andy said they had a hard time getting the seating chart together, actually. It wasn't up to him, but it was all of the producers, you know, the people that call the shots, basically, that's, you know, made sure that they set the seating chart the way that they wanted to. Because they're a complicated group. You know, all of the girls don't get along. And so, you know, they had to make sure that they don't put people next to each other that might want to reach over there and hit the other one. So everybody is seated, and, you know, he goes around, you know how he does. Hey, Karen, you know, do you think that you will be needing to fight these girls today? You know, Karen, I don't think that it'll be necessary, you know, but if it is, I'll be ready. He jumps over to Ashley and mentions that, you know, we saw that Ashley was dating. She's not dating the hockey player any longer, but yes, she was seeing Luke. And, you know, that was a welcome surprise considering. Giselle actually is dating as well. She's dating the guy from Winter House. I don't know this show, but what was his name? I had put Steven, but I don't think that's it. Is it Kevin? Jason from Winter House. Okay, apparently Luke knew Jason and hooked the whole thing up because Giselle was interested. He's a younger man, good looking, light skinned, black guy, light eyes and all of that, so. And, you know, Giselle, she was so forthcoming. Yes, I've been seeing Jason. You know, that let me know right there that it's bullshit. Then he jumps over to Robin. Robin, you shocked everybody. You are a married woman. How does it feel? You know, Robin, well, it feels the same as it did before. I was just like, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. She says, no, actually, it's been nice. You know, it just feels a little different this time because of everything they've been through. I was just like, girl, I know at the back of her head, she was just like, well, if they only knew what we have been through. We found out, didn't we? Hey, Candace. We think it's very ironic that you would call Ashley's friend the Cookie Monster and then you show up in this very furry dress. You know, Candace was like, and that's by design. That's on purpose. She's showing you how you do Cookie Monster right, okay? As opposed to Ashley's bushy eyebrowed friend. So Candace is paying homage to said Cookie Monster. And then we jump over to Wendy, you know, and I just feel like if Wendy didn't have that fight with Mia last season, Wendy wouldn't have had nothing going on. Because they just gonna keep on talking about her drinking water. And I was just like, yeah, I guess she didn't really have much other than that water throw. That's probably why she dove so deeply and going so hard against Mia, because it was just like, let me use this. But Wendy says she's keeping a healthy diet. Okay, Wendy looks great. Wendy looks great, okay? That body, what she got done to it is all in the right places. And then, of course, Mia, you know, is a frog's asshole watertight? It certainly is. Take that as you will, you guys. And then we get on started with the reunion. Now, first, we're talking to Ashley about her relationship with Michael. You guys, I'm just going to say right at the beginning of this, I don't know if I can really truly believe anything that Ashley says. You know, the story doesn't sound correct to me. I know that, you know, it's a lot involved in these situations, especially when you're married to somebody that has a lot of money, you know, and all of that. But it just something ain't, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I feel like Ashley is not fully giving us the full story, but I mean, it could be. Let me just tell you what happened. Congratulations on the new house. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, it's 7 minutes away from Michael, away from the old penthouse, and she's happy to be in this new home. They both have keys to each other's home, which is just sort of like, I mean, I guess. I mean, I guess. It just seems like you definitely would have to have in place. You know what? I'm not going to say I guess. I wouldn't, if I was getting a divorce, I would not let my spouse, my ex-spouse, have a key to my home. It's just no. Because you can already see how that can run, how you can run into some problems there. Even though Ashley was like, we have stipulations, you know, there are rules to it. No pop-ups, you need to call before you're coming, at least an hour ahead of time. And I was just like, still, that's not okay, because in the situation, the example that she gave, you know, Luke was at the house one time. Michael was supposed to have the kids over the weekend and bring them back on Monday, but instead he showed up on Sunday night and, you know, Luke had to leave, you know? Now, what exactly got crisscrossed in the messages? The nigga didn't know that he could come and bring them kids on Monday. He coming popping up on Sunday night. And yeah, I mean, I understand that you don't want your man to be around the kids. You guys are just getting to know each other and all of that. That's all fine. But the whole thing is now Luke got to jump on the train and get to wherever he was going when he wasn't planning on leaving till the next day. You know, it's just sort of like, no. So that's why I'm just like, some of the things that Ashley was saying, I was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, you girl, I don't even know if I believe anything you say. And, you know, it's too bad that her and Luke aren't together anymore. She said, you know, she started to actually fall in love with Luke because Luke was just doing all of the things that she had been, you know, deprived of for so long being married to Michael. Michael wasn't doing that, not at least to her. So then Andy says, you know, considering what Ashley had been doing ever since her and Michael broke up, you know, she's looking good. She lost all of that weight. She's on TikTok. She's doing these sexy dances. We see her dating these young guys and all that. You know, if I was Michael, this is what Andy said, if I was Michael, I would feel a little impotent. I was just like, honey, Michael gets it for real. All right. Michael ain't, he ain't losing no sleep over what Ashley doing over there because Michael is doing what Michael is doing. And shit, Michael is holding the cards. Michael is making the decisions. Okay. Let Ashley tell it. She didn't even come out well in the divorce. You know, that ironclad prenup that she signed. I mean, really, she don't get anything. And that's where I was just like, huh? Now, I understand if the prenup said you don't get anything of Michael's, you know, whatever he brought to the relationship, that's his, okay? I mean, we clear on that. But what I don't understand is why is it the money that Michael gets from any new investments? I mean, of course, the money is going to come from the past, you know? Why now he has new ventures, but she still can't tap into that because that money that created these new ventures is coming from the stuff that he had before he got married? Doesn't make sense to me, you know? And I'm not going to say I'm well versed on these things. So my rock star lawyers, the real ones, please. You can chime in. You can weigh in on this because it just didn't make sense to me. Who signs a prenup that says that I can't get any of the money of the businesses that you started since we've been together? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. And, you know, of course, she was just like, it was very ironclad. You know, she does get child support. But other than that, she's not getting any money unless she loses income. So I guess if she's off the show and she needs to be taken care of, as long as she's not in a new relationship, new marriage, then he will pay her house note. And I don't know, child. It just, the whole thing just was, I was just like, I just not sure if I believe this. But it could very well be true. But honey, the way these hoes lies on this show, I don't know what to think. Anyways, Andy says that one of the viewers had written in about that one season when Candace was being rolled by Ashley, by Ashley saying that she's the least accomplished in this group. And, you know how they used to just really tease Candace about being a kept child by her damn mama. Candace was just like, everybody used to have a problem with the generational wealth that was bestowed upon me. And my mother was fortunate enough to help her get this, the condo that they were living in, or the townhome that they were living in at the time. And everybody used to go on and on about it. And now look at Ashley. She done found herself in pretty much the same situation, maybe even worse, because at least we know Candace's mama loves her. Michael is holding all of the cards, and Ashley still feels like she's pretty much under his thumb. Okay, so now who is the least accomplished? Candace is out there working, she's acting, she's albums, touring, videos, all of that. Some would even say that some of the things that Ashley would like to do. Remember, Ashley fancied herself as a singer at one time. Remember that song, you guys? I don't even remember what she was talking about. It was awful. You doing the same thing, Ashley. That's what Candace said. Ashley says, well, you know what? Her children definitely will be set. Okay, so then why is it okay that your kids will be set, but why y'all gave Candace so much problem? See, that's the same. That's what I'm telling you. Folks need to be careful, because honey, them tables turn quickly. And all of this we went through. You guys know how Ashley does. Ashley will answer any question that is given to her, and so Ashley just knew it was her time in the hot seat. She says at the end of the day, her and Michael are in a good place. Okay, and it's all about the kids, you guys. They make sure that they take care of the babies, and they get along, they co-parent well, and that's all she's concerned about. So I mean, if she like it, I love it. Now, we finish with Ashley, we jump on over to Mia. And so, after they show Mia's package, we all of the things that she went through, the health scare, her making sure that her health comes first, and the visits to the doctors and all of that. We start off in the reunion saying that we are very happy that she is cancer free. Now, she has other lumps that have shown up in her body. And of course, she has to get that taken care of. She says that she has tissue growing in her female reproductive organs. I was like, so you have fibroid tumors? I mean, why does it have to be all of this, Girl, just say, yeah, I might have to get a hysterectomy. I have tissue growing in my female reproductive. We know what that means. And so she said that she actually could relate to Giselle, because Giselle was going through it on the show, and she found out that she might have to get a hysterectomy, and she doesn't really want to get a hysterectomy. She wants to be able to hold on to her female organs. Andy asked her if all these lumps showing up, could it be her body rejecting a lot of the work that she's had done? Because remember, when she first came on the show, she listed all of the things that she's had done. Okay, and maybe that's the reason that these lumps are showing up. She says, yes, she does believe that it could also be breast implant illness. I'm not real, you guys have explained to me that a lot of times when you get plastic surgery, the scar tissue starts to grow, you get lumps, your body gets, not infected, but your body just starts to feel like, yeah, this is a foreign object, it should not be here. She said that the sarcoidosis that they thought that she had was also a part of that. She had like a strange lump on her ass, and that was, they were saying that a lot of times when you have sarcoidosis, now my mother-in-law has sarcoidosis, okay, and she actually lost a lung. She only has one lung, because I've always thought that sarcoidosis was like a hardening of the organs that you have in your body. So like, it could be your lungs, it could be your kidneys, it could be your heart. Correct me if I'm wrong, rock star doctors out there, or anybody in the medical field that can clarify for me, but I know from our family going through, my mother-in-law having sarcoidosis ended up her losing a lung. So she only has one lung. So we protect that lung with everything, you guys. But yeah, something about lumps in her baby. She just got a whole bunch of lumps. That'll probably be there considering all of the work that she's had done. Hey, Wendy, how do you feel about getting caught on the hot mic saying that Mia was lying? Remember that episode where Wendy was being very supportive of Mia, or basically saying that Giselle and them had confronted her and made her feel bad by kind of insinuating that she was lying about her illness. They shouldn't have did that. But then as soon as that episode was over, we caught her on the hot mic saying that I think she was talking to somebody on the crew, that everybody knows that Mia's lying. Like, she's just not even gonna worry herself about it. And she said that she did own up to that on social media. You know, she did put a little meme up with the oops, like kind of looking to the side like, uh-oh, okay. But, and Mia was just like, yeah, you know, you kind of stabbing the bitch in the back. Like, you supposedly acting like you all supportive of me, you know, smiling in my face, but then you go behind my back and tell the crew that I was lying. Why couldn't you just say that to my face? I mean, we all didn't have the cameras. I wish I did have the camera with me when I was on a stretcher being rolled into surgery or rolled into these tests and all of the things that she had. And that's when Wendy was just like, I'm sorry, you know, if Eddie was there with me. I mean, he was there. Don't be mad at me about that. Maybe with your next husband that they'll, you know. I was just like, ooh, that was quite shady and mean. You know, I could tell that actually Mia was bothered by that. But okay, let's move on from that. Let's move on from that. What's going on with the businesses, okay? Mia and Gordon have found themselves in dire straits. I can't even make heads or tails of this story. I mean, because there's probably way more to it, but what it sounds like is Mia, Gordon, and Gordon's brother were in business together. There was another member that was kind of like also on the board. Apparently, Gordon's brother and this other member who had the voting power voted and kind of ousted Gordon, okay? Even though Mia supposedly is the larger owner of these businesses, some which kind of way, they ended up getting ousted. The brother ended up going into their bank account, because they all have a bank account together. And she said that when you all have a bank account together, then anybody can go in there and take the other name off the bank account. I was like, that is absolutely not true, okay? Because I know a friend in particular very recently that was trying to get their spouse off of the damn joint account that they had together, and it was next to impossible. I mean, I have a girlfriend whose sister passed, and they were trying to get, you know, they're trying to get all of the stuff situated, and it's even hard for them as the sister being deceased to get the name off of the bank account. So it's not that easy for you to just come in and decide that you're gonna take somebody's name off. No. Okay, everybody needs to be there to sign off that, yes, take me off of this account. And especially if it got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in there, you know, that's not right. So I'll call him bullshit on there, even though Mia said that's exactly how it happened. Whatever. But anyway, long story short, it sounds like the board or the people that voted Gordon and Mia out. Now they have no income. They have moved out of their Potomac home. Okay, we thought that they had bought that home, but no, she was renting it. She said that they actually rent property all over the place. And I was just like, but they had to let a lot of this rental property go because she doesn't have any income. They're living off of their savings. Okay, and I was just like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with renting. Everybody doesn't want to own, and renting does give you that freedom to kind of come and go as you please. But it's just sort of like you renting all of these, I guess. Giselle throws in her 2 cents and says that it sounds like embezzlement to her, you know, and I was just like, I don't know what it sounds like. None of the story makes sense to me. And a lot of the women up there had questions and everything, and they were kind of like riding her and teasing her. And she was like, you know what? It's not funny. So I'm not going to sit up here and talk to these girls about it if they're going to be, you know, laughing, and because it's not a funny situation, you know, Andy. So what's the next question? Okay. And I was just like, Mia, I mean, you had to know that the girls was going to be all over you about this business, or these businesses and everything that's happening. So it's your time in the hot seat, poops. So, you know, what has Giselle decided about Mia? You know, Giselle being the, I guess the deciding factor for the group. You know, Giselle says, well, Mia probably wants to tell her own story. Yes, we want Mia to tell her story. We just want her to tell the real one. And then on to Candace. We see the package with Candace, and this portion kind of starts off with the problems that she's had with Giselle. Okay, and remember, Giselle was very upset that her and Chris didn't get to have that conversation on screen, the finale. Remember, she kept on saying, Candace said that he wanted to talk to me. You know, why isn't he talking to me? He has all these opportunities to talk to me. But it seems that very shortly after the the video release party, then apparently Chris, this was the apology that you guys have been telling me about. Apparently Chris went into her DMs and apologized for, if she felt uncomfortable, then he apologized for that. Okay, but he didn't apologize for coming off as this man that was trying to get her in this room by herself. Okay, the way that Giselle was making it seem like she felt like Chris was going to do something to her and that she felt uncomfortable about it. He wasn't apologizing for that. He was apologizing that she felt uncomfortable. Okay, but she felt like that was the apology for the whole situation. Oh, he found out, he realized that he was wrong for even trying to go in the room with her. And we all thought it was bullshit. And like Andy said, like, are we living in medieval times where men and women can't go into a room together without everybody thinking that something inappropriate is going on? Okay. My husband has female friends. I have male friends. Like, if I'm in the room with another a male friend and we just sitting there talking or whatever, is everybody going to assume that I'm doing something with him? I would hope not. Okay. It's not even like that, especially with the past that Giselle and Chris has had. That's the point that we've been trying to make all season. Giselle and Chris have been cool. Chris hasn't done anything, I don't believe, to make anybody feel a certain way. And this is the reason why Candace was so pissed, because she knew that they used, maybe we can call it Chris's naivete. You know, maybe he was naive in thinking that Giselle wouldn't ever use a situation like this to put him in this position to make it seem like he was coming on to her or something like that. So Candace is pissed because not only did Giselle say that she didn't feel comfortable, then she started to add all these other things, calling him a sneaky link. Okay, he was testing the waters to see if she was with it. Chris, you know, y'all know Chris was not trying to do that. I'm not saying that Chris or any man or any woman, for that reason, is above or can't be cheating. But what I'm saying is, I mean, if we gonna do it, why would I choose to cheat with Giselle? There's plenty of other women that wouldn't bring as much attention to me that I could go and do some shit like this with. But you guys trying to make it seem like Giselle, of all of the messy people on the show, that Chris would choose to fuck with her? Come on. You know, Giselle was just like, well, she can say apologize. She can apologize for that. It's just that everybody was saying, you know, that he was doing these things. And Ashley said, you know, he was grabbing butts or whatever. And that's why she was coming out and saying those things. But she could apologize for that. Candace was like, you can take that apology and shove it up your ass. Okay. Andy was like, okay, apology not accepted. So, you know, they was about to really get on this whole Chris and Candace and Giselle thing, but Andy was like, Chris will be out here later with the husband, so we'll pick all that back up later. We try to go off on Candace's IVF treatment, you know, and say that Candace has 6 embryos now, so if she does want to have children in the future, they are now in place, frozen somewhere. Okay, so good for Candace. You know, she's about to start up the crying, but no, we ain't got time for that because we getting back to this Giselle and Chris thing, even though you just said Chris will be out later. Giselle was just like, everybody is always on me and riding me and saying that Giselle only, you know, talks about people's man and talking about people's relationships, but Giselle's like, everybody does it. Yeah, everybody does do it on this show. Giselle is the #1 person that does it, but yeah, they all do it, so. I don't even know what the point was that she was trying to make. Oh, well, actually the point was that Giselle saved the situation for the cameras. Okay, that this is something that could have been handled off screen if Giselle was feeling the way that she did. I mean, Candace was like, we have been around each other plenty of times. She came to my album release party, was dancing and having a good time, and never mentioned it. She waited until we got on national TV to say some bullshit like that. And Giselle was just like, you wanted me to talk to you about, you know, what Chris did at your album release? Well, you thought it was actually better to do it on TV? That's the point that Candace is trying to make. Well, Giselle said that she was going to not even say nothing about it, but then Ashley was talking about what was happening with her friends and all, and it just got to be too much. So she felt like Candace needed to know. And Wendy said, yeah, I mean, I can understand why you would want Candace to know, but the thing is, there's a pattern of you doing things like this. Why not just talk to people in private? And Giselle doesn't really have an answer for that. I mean, you know, I think it's clear. I mean, obviously this situation with Robin has opened our eyes. So these women definitely will let us know what they want us to know. And if they don't want us to know, then they will try very hard to keep it off of the show. And some are more successful than others. In this case, they used Chris and Candace to kind of keep the heat off of what was going on with Juan and Robin. All right. I mean, we just know that. But anyway, that's how the episode ended. And I mean, you know. I mean, it was an okay first episode. What did you guys think? All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I'm gonna get this edited and up to you. I'm so glad that they didn't have Sharice on there this episode, so I can actually edit this on my phone. Sit back and not have to break out the computer and all of that. Anyway, you guys, hope you guys have a great President's Day. I am chilling today. I'm binge watching some TV. I may run to Home Goods and decorate my home for the Easter. You know, we heading into spring. I had to take my Valentine's Day stuff down, and now we are into Easter, spring, all of that. Okay, so that's what I got on the day, this calendar on the schedule for today. Y'all let me know what y'all doing. And I am gonna get off of here. Make sure that you thumbs up the video. Comment and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.